Shit sandwich.
What the fuck is your problem?
Shut up, you freak!
Thanks, I needed that.
Welcome to the real world.
Howdy, partner.
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed.
You are the leading asshole in the state.
Bitch, please.
Pass the Dutchie, my friends.
Remember, a Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him.
What were you doing when the lights went out?
Birdie num-num.
Lynch me for what my people have done to your people.
Oh, durka.
It's a madhouse! A madhouse!
Warning, if you want your asses blown out, stay in the room.
Hello, and welcome to Dave and Shecky's Groovy Boob Tube Review. I am Dave.
And I am Shecky. And our podcast is a movie review podcast, but the movies we review are ones that you can watch in your own dang home. Dave, what are you looking around for?
I'm gathering my thoughts.
Oh,
I see my thoughts have wandered, and I'm looking around to gather them.
Well, gather them up, please.
There goes one.
Gather together your thoughts. And this week we have a movie to talk about, but before we talk about the movie, last week, J.R. Claiborne, one of our listeners, sent us a movie that he wanted us to review. And that movie was...
The Omega Man.
From 1976, I believe.
The remake of The Omega Man.
Well, I don't think the original was called The Omega Man.
The Omega Man.
With Charlton Heston. And the movie is based rather loosely on a book by Richard Matheson entitled I Am Legend. And, boy, what a crappy movie.
That was a great movie. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're kidding, right?
It was great, like Assault on Precinct 13 is great. Or like Death Race 2000.
Oh, God, Death Race 2000 is just awful.
All right, well, it was bad. You know, sometimes bad is good.
Sometimes
it was bad.
It was so cheesy, and it was, you know...
No, it was pretty bad.
There was bad acting. There was like sweaty Charlton Heston.
There were good moments. It was classic 70s, but then all of a sudden it was like Revenge of Moominshunts.
Yeah, the caped figures. If I don't know if you've ever read the original book. I don't think you have, Dave.
No, I'm not a sci-fi kind of guy.
It's not sci-fi.
Oh, I don't read that much then.
But the book, the Richard Matheson book, I Am Legend, is actually really good. I mean,
I actually could see how it could have been a really good book, and parts of this movie had almost like a Twilight Zone sort of vibe to it, like The Last Man Surviving kind of thing. Except he didn't break his glasses, and he wasn't blah blah blah.
What? This Charlton Heston. I don't see. This is what I talk about time and time again. While there's these actors from back in the day that somehow were like a huge deal. And I just don't think they deserved it. And he's just awful in this movie. Just horrible. And he's got this weird thing going on when he's shirtless.
He's somewhat apish.
Is he sucking in? Or is he just weirdly shaped?
Stomach in, chest out.
But was he sucking in, or was he just...
That's what they used to do. Stomach in, chest out. See, no one was really in that good shape except like Jack LaLanne back then.
That's true.
So, you know, you had to suck in and chest out. That's what they taught you in the Army.
There was the book, or this movie doesn't really follow the book. There is an older movie with Vincent Price that actually follows the book much more. I wish I remembered what that
Charlton Heston, I gotta just cut in here. He's disgustingly sweaty in this movie.
He is.
What is he like on? He's just like on an acid trip, or like he's like, what's wrong with him? He has too much coffee or something.
And he's not. It's not like he's a hairy guy. You know, like if he was really hairy, you'd be like, well, he's really hairy and therefore he sweats a bit. He's like completely shaved or waxed. And he is just,
he's a clammy motherfucker.
He is clammy. And it's distracting.
Now, I don't know who edited this movie, but I think they must have been on too many drugs at that point. I think, cocaine had taken over the world at that point.
In 76?
Yeah, I think everyone was gone because that shit was... discontinuous.
It was completely, yeah, and not in a good way. Not like
sometimes they meant it to be like
Orange.
sort of jumpy. I guess that was kind of like had to be intended. A couple of things he was just like, really like, jumpy. That was like, I guess, intended.
No, I think back in the day they were just editing on film, and you got away with some shit more than you could get away with today. But I just think the movie was just awful. I mean, and having read the book, to me, as I was watching this, in my head I was thinking, okay, they could really remake the book. They could do another movie of the book that follows the book, because the book is the book's ending is completely different. I mean, it
sounds like they took something very cool and made it really bad.
They took something very cool and then tried to make it into like a 70s type of
Land of the Lost meets Moomin-shots.
It was I can't even describe it. It was just like they really tried to groovy it up when it really didn't need the groovy.
I liked it in the beginning. It was good until he says, "Uh-oh, it's getting dark. They're about to wake up." After that, it was all over. He's like, when he's watching that movie, he's watching the Woodstock and he's mouthing, and I thought that was cool. That was okay. There were some decent makings there where it could have been like, okay, Charlton Heston is actually digging Woodstock. That's kind of funny in itself. But then it went right down the tubes. All of a sudden, he pulls into his house, and some guy's brewing up some kind of fire above him and throws it at him. It was just like, what? Why is this guy in a black fucking robe throwing fire at you?
I know. And where did these black robes come from? I mean, it's
Matthias. The whole thing was really bad.
I swear to you, the book is so much better, and I really recommend people reading it. I Am Legend. And I was thinking that they could remake the book with like someone like Bruce Willis. Remake this movie. Don't call it Omega Man. Call it I Am Legend, and have Bruce Willis be in it, and make it the way it was intended to be.
Bruce Willis and Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie does not need to be in the movie.
Oh, she can just be in the trailer. On the poster.
I mean, there is a part for her actually in the book as well, but
there's a woman in the book, right?
There is a woman in the book.
Who's it going to be? Beyonce? She's trash.
No.
She's the equivalent of trailer trash.
It's got to be good acting. And
that's what I'm saying.
It can't
Who's going to do it?
I guess it could be Angelina Jolie, but you know what? She might be too good looking. It's got to be someone who. See, the problem is
Rosie O'Donnell.
No. Oh. It's got to be someone that the lead male has got to have some sort of
Ellen DeGeneres.
He has to feel. No. He has to feel responsible and want to take care of that person. And Angelina Jolie is just too hot.
Drew Barrymore.
You need someone like maybe Evangeline Lilly.
Drew Barrymore. What?
Got your attention with that. Evangeline Lilly.
She is yes, she needs more work. I believe that's true.
Because she's very good looking, but she's not to the point where she's just ridiculously hot. So you could, I think you would feel like you wanted to take care of her, or even like a Sandra Bullock.
All right.
Someone along those lines.
Yeah, I understand.
So, but I think they could remake the movie. And Bruce Willis is the first person I think of, because
as long as Quentin Tarantino's not involved, I think they got a hit. Because I could see him being like, I'm going to remake the Omega Man, and it's going to be really groovy, man. Great. Hand me some more Coke.
You know who it should be? It should be George Romero. It should be George Romero remaking the Omega Man, but not even calling it the Omega Man, because the
O-Man.
Wow, that was pretty loud, dude.
The O-Man.
The O-face. But, so, we did watch it, and I do appreciate that you sent it to us, JR. And
it was quite entertaining.
I think he sent it to us because he knew, I think in his heart, he knew how cheesy it was.
That's what I'm saying. If you're into it for the campiness of it, it's a classic cult campy
I mean, there's some crazy jive being spoken in this movie.
Touche. Hey, I believe you are correct. You are correct, sir. I forgot the jive. I can't reference it.
The black woman, she comes in with the gun.
Oh.
And she's all jived up. I couldn't even understand what she was saying.
She's basically like a Black Panther at that point.
All right, you son of a bitch, you just hold tight. Up against the wall, you mother. Don't turn, just stand. When I want you to turn, I'll turn you on or off, up or around, I'll turn you. Now cool it. Now put your hands out. Out. Way out. About shoulder high. I like to come crucify you, baby.
Matter of fact, they were gonna roast me.
Why'd you stop him?
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
You got any more questions, fathead?
My name's Robert.
Your name's Mud.
She kind of is like a Black Panther at that point. She's
all revolutionary.
She's all revolutionary, but the movie is just I just think it fails at life. On a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give this movie? Seriously.
I think I'd have to give it a 4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah, I got 4.
I'm gonna give it a 1. I'm gonna give it a 1 because it's so horrible. It's horrible. It's I think it might be on my top 10 list of worst movies of all time.
It's right up there with Jesus Christ Superstar, the movie.
That movie's not as bad. Okay. This movie is as bad as like Grease 2. Let's bowl.
We bowl.
We bowl? Is that what they say?
I think it's we bowl.
And, and even that movie's better than this one because
it's... Is that Adrian Zmed?
I was going to say, because it's got Adrian Zmed.
Zmed. Any person who makes it in the business with the name Zmed is happening.
Yeah, T.J. Hooker.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. So, enough about the Omega Man. I'll put links to everything you need to know about the Omega Man. Let's move on to what our main movie review is this week. This week, we watched...
The Weatherman.
It was my week to pick, and Dave is such a big Nick Cage fan, as he disclosed. Was that last week you disclosed?
It's true. Coincidentally, I do appreciate the Nick Cage.
Dave disclosed to us last week that Nick Cage is his favorite actor, which I didn't know.
I like to refer to him as Nick.
He does refer to him as Nick. He feels very comfortable with calling Nicolas Cage Nick. So when I was going through the pay-per-view schedule this week, I saw that there was actually a Nick Cage movie. And this movie came out last year. It came and went. The trailers or the commercials for it were horrible, and there was just nothing in the commercials or any of the marketing that said to me, I have to see this movie. Do you agree?
It's true. They didn't know what to do with this movie.
And the truth of the matter is that I just had to say, I was blown away by how great this movie is. Okay, Dave. This is Dave and Shecky's Groovy Boob Tube review.
I'm trying to think of what to say to that. I didn't realize you were blown away. Now go back and say it again.
I was blown away by how great this movie is.
Really? I didn't realize you liked it so much.
You didn't?
No, I thought you liked it, but I didn't realize you were blown away.
I was blown away by it.
Because there was moments when I was like, is this movie working or not? Because it's very strange.
It's a quirky fucking movie.
Basically it's like this. The movie gets it goes very slow at some points. It's very slow moving. But then out of nowhere, they hit you with some really ridiculous shit.
I love it. You're surprised by it. You're always surprised by the crazy shit that's going on. I mean, I
look, the movie was going so slowly, and then all of a sudden, Michael Caine comes out of left field with that comment, which brought me laughing hysterically for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, you know what? Let's insert the comment here.
Dave, what's going on, son?
Nothing. Just, why are you here anyway?
I came to talk to Noreen about an issue concerning Shelley.
Well, you can talk to me. I'm her parent, too. So, what?
Shelley dresses in clothing not appropriate for her. Clinging stuff.
All kids wear... Dad, it's a different generation.
They call her camel toe.
What?
Are you aware of that?
What?
That her colleagues call her camel toe.
What are you talking about?
It means the crease in her vagina that they can discern through her clothing.
What?
Camel toe.
I heard you. I mean, how do you know they do that?
I heard it. I picked Shelley up on Wednesday. Her taunting the older boys, calling it.
You might have heard wrong.
No, I heard...
Okay, look, I'll deal.
Now, that's a funny clip. That shit had me laughing for minutes and minutes on end.
Well, I just didn't expect it.
Well, that's why it's brilliant. That's why it's brilliant. And I just think a lot of stuff in this movie is completely brilliant because you're not expecting it. And Michael Caine, a distinguished actor with a huge career, talking about camel toes. It's just crazy.
It was very, very amusing.
And I just want to say that Shelley, that they're talking about this girl Shelley, who is Nick Cage's 12-year-old daughter.
Right.
So I mean, she's. I just
completely awkward, and the movie is completely awkward and off kilter.
It's kind of like a Napoleon Dynamite thing, where it's a very quirky film.
Was it made after Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, it was just made last year. That's why it's on pay-per-view now.
Well, maybe they're going with that formula a little bit there.
I think it was great, and it's one of those things where I don't know why. Now, this is a movie to me that should have been nominated for an Oscar, whether it's performances or screenplay.
It's true.
Or something. I mean, I don't think it was nominated. I don't know.
I think Nick did a great job.
Nick Cage, your friend Nick Cage,
he narrates the thing. Come on, it's a very good performance. I'm telling you, the guy's a good actor.
And I gotta say, I am not as big of a fan of Nick Cage as you are. I like a lot of his stuff, but some of it is just really crappy, and I just think he's just not,
He has done a bunch of crappy stuff.
Like some stuff I'm just not impressed with. I didn't even like Leaving Las Vegas. I thought.
Well, that's a classic.
See, I mean,
that might not be your taste, but that's a good performance.
See, I didn't think it was as good as his performance in this movie. I thought this was
I got you.
I thought this was worth an Oscar nomination, much more than some of the people that were nominated this year.
I think the time is just not right for this kind of movie. People aren't really thinking this way. This movie's like, I don't know. What am I thinking? This is like some kind of Robin Williams movie from the 80s or something.
Like what? I don't know what you mean.
Like The World According to Garp or something. Like, it's not like that. Like, if that movie was made now, I don't think that would even get very much recognition. I don't know. I just think the atmosphere is not right for that in Hollywood to get any recognition.
Well, it's a shame because because you're saying it's not a big blockbuster and it's not an action movie.
It's slow moving. It's like a thinking man's movie, and it's got some controversial shit in it that's not politically correct.
This movie was exactly right up my alley. This is the kind of stuff I like. I like weird, quirky stuff that has out from just left field humor.
It had several moments of brilliance.
It really did. I think it had a lot of moments of brilliance, and yeah, it got slow in a little places, but I don't mind that. I don't mind slow paced sometimes.
I don't mind slow pace as long as it has the payoff every few minutes, and this movie had it.
It certainly did.
It's slow paced, but then out of nowhere, every few minutes, it's like, what the? That's ridiculous.
I mean, let's go over the plot, because we're talking about it, but we're not really given the plot.
Oh, time for plot.
The plot of the movie is that Nick Cage, Dave's friend Nick Cage, is a weatherman. He is a local Chicago weatherman.
Yes.
And he gets paid a ridiculous amount of money to be the weatherman, and he really doesn't do much of anything. But somehow he's like a popular weatherman. People know him. And that's the only thing he's got going for him, because, truth be told...
He's like Dave Price or something.
The CBS guy?
Exactly.
Could be. His name is Dave in the movie, too.
It's like a Dave Price character.
His
local weatherman.
His life, other than his life outside of the newsroom, is just shitty. His wife and he are separated or divorced. He's got kids that are unhappy and not doing well. He's got his daughter who is really really chubby. She's smoking, and she's got the mouth of a sailor, like that scene where she's smoking cigarettes with her friend.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff those two little girls say, it's just like, you're like, what did they just say?
The whole movie had a bunch of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And then his son, who apparently had a pot problem, which I find very hard to believe. I don't think there is such thing as a pot problem, but here he is, this 13, 14-year-old kid. He's got a pot problem, and the mother forces the kid into some sort of program where he's got like a counselor that talks to him to work through the issue. And of course, the counselor's a pedophile. So so now the problem is really much worse. It's because
this movie goes places that acceptable movies don't go.
And And all through it, it's just like, and then Nicolas Cage's father is Michael Caine, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning writer, and Michael Caine has lymphoma. So everything, like I said, everything outside of the weather world is really just shitty for poor Nick Cage.
Terrible.
Dave Spitzel.
Spritzel.
Spritzel? Spitzel?
Spritzer.
Spritzel?
Spritzel.
Spritz. Spitz. Spritzel?
Spritzel.
Dave Spritzel?
I think so.
Spritz picks. Spritz nipper of the week. But anyway, so, halfway through the movie, he gets, or maybe even before that, actually in the beginning of the movie, he gets a call that Hello America, which is like a Good Morning America type of show, is looking for a new weatherman.
It's a syndicated show.
It's like Good Morning America, and it's funny because it's got Bryant Gumbel in it.
Mm-hmm.
Bryant Gumbel, who has not been plays himself on this Hello America, and it's just like a little stupid cameo. But I just, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was very good.
And the other thing is that people in Chicago, they know the weatherman, but they don't seem to like him. Like, they always throw shit at him.
Well, Chicago's got some harsh weather, and I guess it's very windy there too and unpredictable.
But you don't throw a big gulp at a guy through the car window.
Well, he gets no respect. He's the kind of guy who gets no respect.
He gets no
and that's
respect.
what he ponders towards the end of the movie. He starts pondering that. There's a whole scene on that there, over there. Where you scared. You scared pondering that stuff over there.
And the movie is, I think it only takes place over the course of a week or two, really.
No, it takes place over a month or two, a couple months, because he gets the cancer and then he dies within a couple months.
Okay, so maybe a couple months. I know that they do some flashbacks and stuff of a few months before, but it's it's really a short period of time, and I really was completely shocked at I had no idea what to expect from this movie, and what it was not anywhere what I thought it was when the commercials were airing.
Yes, they didn't know what to do with this movie. This movie should have won like at Cannes or something, but I don't think it even got that sort of attention.
This movie was just like, it was just like a ghost. It just came and went.
That's the problem.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Too many movies coming out. They come and go. Nothing gets any fucking respect except for the crap.
This pay-per-view started with another Malton Minute, though. You were having a shit fit over the Malton Minute.
I don't need the Malton Minute. If I want the Malton Minute, I'll get it.
Leonard Maltin with his Malton Minute on this movie. It's not a good idea, pay-per-view.
I did find it interesting, though, that he said, what did he say? This guy had directed Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And the guy who wrote the film...
He's got other stuff coming out.
Something else a while back and then disappeared for a while.
Wrestling Hemingway, I believe it was.
Hey, what the hell is that? That's not exactly Porky's, all right? I don't know what that is.
Porky's? Why would you bring up Porky's?
Because it's no mainstream Hollywood picture.
Well, Porky's wasn't a mainstream Hollywood picture.
I like to reference things like Porky's. It's classic stuff over here, Americana.
Porky's. Oh, my God. Please.
Your kids are going to get in trouble with Porky if you don't watch it.
You're just out of your mind. You're just out of your mind.
Didn't you play Meat in Porky?
Who are you talking to?
Big guy played Meat.
What? I see. I
My
don't
imaginary
remember.
friend. I don't know.
I don't remember Porky's that well because I just knew it was just a shitty piece of crap.
Yeah, it was.
What was that, like 1981 or something?
Maybe a couple of years after that, but yeah, it was really bad.
Oh, God. Oh, and then they made like 5 more or something.
Well, that was the beginning of the end of the world.
Yeah. It was the beginning of the end of the world. Oh, God. So what was the best part of this movie for you?
Well, there were several very funny parts. And there was something I was about to say that I just cannot remember now. And it has me all hung up. So let me forget about that. And the best part of this movie was Nick Cage.
His performance was really, really good. I really think he deserved an Oscar nomination. And I think that Michael Caine deserved one for Best Supporting.
It was a really good movie. This movie didn't get any recognition.
I was like, I just really like when I picked it and I saw that it was Nick Cage and it was the Weatherman. I just was like, okay, this is going to be a bad slapsticky movie.
Yeah, I thought the marketing when we saw a trailer for it or something, and I was just like, okay, that's just a shame. That's just another waste.
Because because the trailers, I remember they have him getting hit in the head with the soda, but they don't have.
They make it out like it's American Pie or something.
Like it's zany antics with throwing big gulps or something, and it's not. It's like it's definitely a more thoughtful movie than that. But it's
completely out there. The movie is out there lunch.
The best part of the movie for me, I would say, is just I thought the dialogue was great. I just thought it was a well written. I think the whole screenplay was great. I thought it was just really well written from start to finish. There wasn't anything that I was just like, oh God, I can't believe they said that, or that they should have taken that out. There was nothing like that where I was like cringing at something that somebody said, which is the exact opposite of the Omega Man, where I couldn't stop cringing every time Charlton Heston opened his mouth.
Yeah,
I mean that was just a cringe fest. So I thought the screenplay was great. I really did, and I thought it was shot really well. It was nice and quirky and put together well.
Good music.
I'm still surprised. I mean, when that camel toe thing came into the movie, we just were like, we literally just kept laughing and laughing, and
I thought you were hurting yourself.
I know, exactly. I almost couldn't breathe because I was laughing so hard. It was just because it was so out of nowhere. The way this movie is paced, this like this bad shit happens to this guy, and it's his life just goes into all these crazy little bad luck things or just depressing places, and then all of a sudden something like that just comes popping out at you, and there's a lot of shit like that in this movie. I was totally sympathetic to his character. I really liked it. Was there a worse part for you?
I don't think so.
You thought it was a little slow in places?
Oh yeah. It was a little slow, but that wasn't bad because it was slow, but then it set you up for something that was completely ridiculous because it was so slow.
It was like you got a huge payoff. Every time
it was like a really good movie. It wasn't. The only thing was, no Jeff Goldblum.
No Jeff Goldblum. That's true. He was nowhere to be found.
I think they really could have had him in there. It could have been. He could have been in there.
He could have been like a rival weather guy somewhere.
Exactly, or an anchor man at the station.
They could have had him be the wife's new boyfriend.
That's exactly right.
He could have been a rival weather guy that was the wife's new boyfriend.
Who was it? It was like Chaz Palmieri or something.
He wasn't Chaz Palmieri, but he was definitely familiar looking. But he didn't look anything like Chaz Palmieri.
I think we've seen him in some mob movies.
Yeah, there was something questionable about either his hair or his eyebrows. I wasn't
But
sure.
getting into the mob stuff. Ooh, Sopranos tonight. I've been on the internet checking out mob stuff. You got the black mob, you got your black gangsters, you got your Irish gangsters, you got your Italian gangsters, and you got your Jewish gangsters.
Well, and okay. So why were you checking this stuff out?
I don't know. It started intriguing me. All these, crazy stories.
Oh, you heard
people like laundering
an interview,
millions of dollars of money and like raids and like insane shit.
Yeah, there's a whole secret world going out there that we have no idea about.
But I'm talking stuff that was going on in the 70s. It's very, this is what could make some good movies. That's all I'm saying.
And what was that movie that Steven Seagal had to make because the mafia was leaning on him or something?
I don't know. Did we see that the other day?
I think we saw that the other day. That was like another horrible movie.
I don't know why Jerry Orbach was in that. Was he getting leaned on too?
Jerry Orbach might have had friends. He might have been, paisan.
He hears some things.
He heard some things. He might have had some sort of loan, some sort of, bookie problems or something. But which movie was it? Was it Hard to Kill?
Jesus,
it's the one set
really
in Brooklyn.
It was just terrible.
Oh, God.
It doesn't get much worse than that.
It really doesn't. That one was really awful. And you could tell because the other Steven Seagal stuff isn't horrible because there's like a plot or or there's something interesting, but you could tell this movie was just shot shittily and it was written shittily. So I guess that maybe, I don't know who did everything, but it was, and that poor guy was like held at gunpoint to be in it or something.
I've seen some funny footage of Steven Seagal playing guitar with Toots and the Maytals. Toots is a classic reggae artist, and is session stuff with Steven Seagal, like playing bad lead guitar over Toots' tracks, and Toots is like hanging out with him in the studio and kind of like, yeah, man, Steven, all right, go, man, yeah, that's good. And it's like he's playing like bad Clapton leads over the tune and like totally stepping on his lyrics and shit, and it's really pretty fucking funny.
But how many times did we see Buzzy? Buzzy Linhart, who's an amazing musician and singer, playing in the city with people sitting in with him that are horribly shitty.
Yeah, but they're not famous martial arts movie stars.
No, but it's just sometimes people just really like the person that's sitting next to them and sitting in.
Oh, I hear you.
You know what I mean? And it's just like they can't even hear how crappy it is.
It's possible. And from the looks in Toots' face, though, I think he kind of knew it was terrible, but he's like, okay, Steven Seagal's here, and he can't really do anything.
Yeah, you might roundhouse kick me or something.
Exactly.
So, the worst part of the movie for me, honestly, there was no worst part. I think it was the marketing behind the movie that's the worst part, and I hope that those people got fired.
I hope those people rot in hell.
I hope you know what, they should be punished and made to watch The Omega Man over and over for 3 or 4 days.
True that, yo. True that.
Boy. On a scale of 1 to 10, Dave, what are you going to give The Weatherman?
I am giving The Weatherman a 9.
I'm going to give it a 9 as well. I'm going to give it a 9. I'm surprised because I think your 9 is higher than my 9.
Well, I like a good movie with a narrative theme. I like when people narrate the movie.
You do?
That's why I like Malcolm McDowell and Clockwork Orange. Yes. A little bit of the ultra-violence, then perhaps instant little Alex.
Then don't call me Tim no more. I give this movie a 9, 9.5. I mean, it really is, to me, just a really brilliant movie. If you like quirky flicks, and I'm talking Napoleon Dynamite here, because that's the only one that comes to mind right off, or maybe like Harold and Maude. It's quirky like those movies. It's definitely not a mainstream Hollywood movie.
It's kind of like Tannenbaums.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Mount Rushmore, or Rushmore, whatever the hell.
Rushmore, right? It's quirky in those veins.
Bill Murray kind of quirky,
but
arty quirky.
I gotta say, I mean, I was astounded by the whole thing. I was astounded by it all.
So
you give it a 9.
Amusing.
You give it a 9, so you like it more than The Animal, clearly.
Yeah, it's better.
It's much better. It's on a whole different league.
We can only take that animal joke so far. Although I do like The Animal. Oh.
Might have hurt my feelings.
Well, I like The Animal joke.
Okay. Then why would you say we took it too far?
No, it's just, you can't compare.
Dave has finally said that he does know who Lee Van Cleef is.
It's true.
I think JR, it was either JR or Rev X.
Well, no, you know what? Now I don't think I know who he is.
I actually went and Googled him.
I don't think I know.
I Googled imaged him. I Googled his image.
Well, I'll have to look at that.
And, it's funny. I think he's more of like a guy thing because I Googled his image and he kind of looks somewhat familiar, but I think he's in so many like guy type movies, like a High Noon or those types of like lots of spaghetti westerns. There was like a lot of stuff on the IMDb on his list of works that wasn't even in English. So I think he's done a lot of the spaghetti western stuff or just a lot of Italian films in general. But he looks like a sinister dude-ish.
Sinister.
But he's not like, I don't know. He when I saw the picture, I wasn't like, oh, that guy. I didn't have that moment. But he seems like he was in a lot of like dude-type movies.
Well, I will check him out. I swear I will. I don't know why I haven't checked him out so far. He's very, very bad.
And are you working on
I'm working on so many things, man. It's crazy.
people that you don't know that you
What?
should
I
know?
never heard of that
That
before.
are in movies?
Who is that?
You never heard that?
My attorney is on the line. He wants to talk to you about that over there.
Oh, the other thing is that we got quite a few comments on our Podomatic page about you not knowing you'll shoot your eye out.
I was a radical Jew raised on a kibbutz in Pennsylvania with the Amish.
That's a complete lie.
I don't think there are any radical kibbutzes in Pennsylvania near the Amish, because that would be a contradiction of lifestyles.
But this movie's not that old, Dave.
Oh, but I'm just saying, the reason is I was raised doing stuff that is unconventional. I'm like some kid over there, and I'm like Bodie Miller over here. I'm like...
Did you just compare yourself to Bodie Miller?
I'm like roaming through the woods with my goddamn shoes off.
Oh my God!
I'm over there now on the tracks.
I'm over here now.
I'm walking on the tracks to a beat of a different drummer.
All right, Dave.
I tell you, I don't know. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know lots of things.
A Christmas Story.
Look,
you have to now promise me that you will watch it next Christmas with me.
Look, I must have been close to 30 before I knew that Thanksgiving was on Thursday every year.
Are you serious?
That one was a total surprise.
You know what was a surprise to you too?
What?
When I told you that Easter wasn't on the same day every year.
I know. I swear to God, I grew up. I don't think I'm from this world. When I was a kid, I used to think I had otherworldly powers and that I wasn't actually human. And now I think it's probably true.
You probably are right then.
But see, I was like, you know what? I believed that I couldn't hurt myself like a regular human. But I wasn't going around trying crazy shit. I was just assuming, like, maybe I'm not the same.
You thought you were unbreakable.
Yeah. But then I gave up on that after a while.
Why? Did you hurt yourself?
I don't know. I just started thinking differently.
Have you ever broken anything?
I've broken things.
What'd you break?
When I was a kid, I stood up on this bar and it flipped over me, a portable bar, and I broke my toes. Cracked my foot.
Oh, God. No. Uh-oh. This is unfortunately a story I've heard too many times, but I have a feeling he wants to talk about it. Go ahead.
I cracked my foot over there, and then all the members of the cast signed my cast.
The cast of what?
The cast of Something's Afoot.
Dave's dad was a Broadway producer.
Something's Afoot, and the butler didn't do it. All right?
Something's Afoot was the play his dad was currently producing when Dave broke his foot, and the cast signed the cast. Oh, it's just mayhem, isn't it? It's just hilarity.
It's bad, kid.
Do you want to say who the cast was?
Ooh, the cast, that was a hip cast.
Who was the cast in Something's Afoot?
Those are some cats you don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought not a Bernadette Peters or
nope,
Christopher Guest or anything.
Well, no, they weren't in that cast. They were another cast.
There was not one person I know in Something's Afoot.
My dad did work with all those cats you just spoke about, but
Something's Afoot had nobody.
Something's Afoot had Patty Perkins.
Who's Patty Perkins?
She's a on and off Broadway actress, and it had Pierre Epstein.
Oh, well,
we all know and love because he's in so many commercials. I think he's in the what's that one?
What is the one? It's the one.
Viactive?
It's the one where they compare the people to
Prilosec or something.
It's him on one side and then like a piece of food on the other.
Yes, they compare the people to the food that gives them indigestion.
Yes.
He's the one who's compared to a hot dog because he's thin.
Pierre Epstein. See, there's a guy, people that you don't know that you should know that are in Prilosec commercials.
Well, Pierre Epstein is a hip guy. He's not only in Prilosec, he's been on ER, he's been on Law and Order. He's all A's all over the place.
There you go.
Not to mention he's a very nice man.
So is that the first time you met him?
I met him
on that play?
That play was probably the first time, but he was in a couple of plays that my dad did. He was in a couple plays my dad did.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway.
Well, that's excellent.
That's a little bit about me.
Do you want to tell everybody to go to daveandchecky.com? Because quite frankly, nobody's doing it. No one is going to daveandchecky.com.
Where the hell are you going? When you're out there, where do you go?
I think they're maybe downloading the porn or something.
Yep. Nobody knows where the nose goes when the doors close.
What?
Just a little George Clinton for you.
Oh, thank you. This George Clinton moment brought to you by Pierre
Sir
Epstein.
Knows, devoid of funk.
So, DaveandShecky.com, we have a forum. People aren't going there, though. And I think they are downloading the porn. And quite frankly, I guess the porn is a little bit more exciting than DaveandShecky.com. But you can go there and download past episodes that you may have missed. We have an episodes archive, and they're conveniently listed in alphabetical order.
Oh, very good.
All right. Anything else that you want to say, Dave?
You cats are groovy, you cats are hip. Come on down and don't abandon ship.
I have nothing to add to that, so we'll see you next week.
Fuck that.
What?
Just fuck that, Noreen, you know?
Dave.
What?
Step back.
Step back?
Step back.
What are you talking about, Russ?
Russ.
Step back right now.
Fuck you right now.
Fuck you, Spritz.
Fuck you, fat asshole. Dildo.
David, what are you doing?
I'm talking to my wife. I'm talking to Noreen and this clown whose business this isn't.
You call me a dildo, it is my business, Spritz.
You are a dildo, pork fuck. You porker.